What is up, everybody? Charlene FX, your favorite female trader, here with another video. So I've gotten this request for quite a while, right, to backtest GU. A lot of people trade GU similar to GJ and other GBP pairs. I've been asked to do EU. I've been asked to do UJ. So those are in the works. Those are coming very soon. But I figured this week I would drop GU for you guys so you guys can get an idea of how to best trade this pair on the higher time frames, what to look for, and all that good stuff, right? So we're gonna get into that real quick, but before we get into that, I gotta jump into my sponsor of this video. This is my broker, Henko Trade. They do sponsor all of my content. They're an excellent broker. I've been using them for several years now. They're excellent broker. You can sign up with them with an ECN account. A lot of people ask, hey, what kind of account should you get with them? An ECN. Also, the leverage that you should use, I recommend 500. You can go lower if you like, but 500 is usually the industry standard. So they offer that. They offer indices. They offer currencies. They offer just about everything you need in terms of trading. All right. They also have great support. They have support, actual live support with a real person on their website, and they offer email support as well. If you can't talk right away, you just need to have a quick question and you'll get back to it at another time. The spreads are amazing with them. The commissions are also very low with them also, and I haven't had any issues with them, guys. Honestly, this is probably the best broker I can recommend right now. They are on MT4 and MT5, and you can pretty much trade them on any platform. So if you're looking for a broker, if your broker is not giving you the things you need, if you're not getting the support that you need, if you need a broker that has fast deposits, fast withdrawals, good customer service, all that kind of stuff, reputable and everything, this is the company to go with. This is the broker to go with. All right, guys. So if you want to sign up with them, just use the link in the description of the video, and it'll get you signed up, and you can have your account running literally like that. All right. Only takes a couple minutes to set up, and that's that. All right. So now that we got that out the way, let's go into breaking down GU. Okay, GU is a very structural pair. It moves smooth. It is a US pair, so it does move in the sessions that New York session usually moves and has volume, which would be your New York session, obviously, and your London session, which pretty much everything moves during London session. London session specifically has been popping lately in terms of setups and things like that. So this is a very good pair. This is also a very good beginner pair as well. So if you're someone that's just starting out and you're looking to kind of test your patience, test your technical analysis, test your strategy out, GBP is the pair to do that with, if it's something that moves during the times that you can actually trade. All right, so let's get into it real quick. Looking at it on the 4-hour time frame, let's swing on over to the daily time frame here. I'm going to stick to the higher time frames, guys, more of the 1 hour, the 4-hour time frames. We're going to try to stay within that bounds, and we're going to be back testing on those time frames, because the higher time frames pretty much is where you want to look for your setups anyway. You only drop down to your lower to look for your entries. So we're going to be focused on the higher time frames, and we're going to be using a bar replay as well. Okay, so let me use that right here, and currently we are in 2021. So let me pull this in a little and see where we can go. Let's just start right here. All right, which is right at September of 2020. All right, so first thing you want to do when you come to your charts, guys, is you want to just look at structure as a whole, right? Try to get an idea of what you think the market is doing, what's your overall bias, right? And then look for your structural levels for you to look for price to either respect or to break, to find its way on over to the next structural level, price-wise, okay? So if we're looking at GU here at this point in time, we see that price has made a high right about this area right here, right? That's kind of the second major high. We have another high up here, but I'm not going to worry about that too much because that's kind of far away. We're all the way in this area here. So the last time price came up here was back in 2018. All right, so 2018 was the last time price was up here, and then after that, price kind of made a rally to the downside, and we've been holding this level for quite some time. So if you look closely here, you'll see that price has been holding this structural level for a while and respecting it, right? It keeps on testing, 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 and dropping. All right, so now currently price is at that structural level currently. So if you're looking at that, you're thinking to yourself, well, I potentially should be looking for sells, overall sells, right? Because we had a high, now we have price making lower lows and lower highs, and every time we do come up to make a new high, we're holding this major level here. So keeping that in mind, I'm looking to myself to say, okay, price can hold here. I should be looking for sells. Currently, we see that price has made a bullish push to the upside. So we need some sort of retracement to correct that entire move as well. All right, so when you're looking to back test it, you want to drop down to your 4-hour time frame, your 1 hours. We're going to stick to the 1 and the 4. We're not going to go to the 30 or the 1 hours. We're just going to back test as a whole. And so we're going to be looking at more of the bigger moves in the bigger market and trying to analyze what we think the market is doing. And this is a very excellent way for you to back test your pair to try to understand what you think the market is going to do going forward. Okay, so looking at the structural market structure here, you'll see that price held support right around this level here. All right, we held support and price was bouncing, 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 and finally we got a push to the upside right after price held support. So we see that price is making higher highs and higher lows, so naturally you want to look for buys. Okay, on the higher time frames, price is pushing bullish. If everything signifies buying pressure, you want to look for your buying. So if you're looking for your buys, you're obviously looking for your supports to be respected and for highs to be broken for price to maintain bullish continuation. So if we're looking at price pushing bullish here, we see that price has already made a high. We've already come down. We have a valid level of resistance here, and we see that price has made a low at the previous high. All right, so let's extend this a little bit more. Okay, price tested this trend line several times. The more touches you get to your trend line, the stronger the trend is. That is usually rule of thumb for trend line. I don't really trade using trend lines that much. I'm just using it here as a visual. But for the most part, if you trade using trend lines, guys, the more touches to your trend line, the stronger the zone is if you place your trend line properly. Okay, a trend line is the same as an indicator. If you place your trend line somewhere, it better be in the right place. Because if it ain't in the right place, then you're probably gonna end up trading off of it and trading off of bad levels, bad zones, and it's gonna cause your trade to go all over the place. All right. So anyway, going back to the chart here. We see that price has broken above this major high here. We have this double top that formed here, and price has broken above that level, and we respected it and we pushed up. So several confluences here telling us that price is pushing bullish. Okay, so price is pushing bullish. We have a level of support here. We have another level of support here. So price is making higher highs and higher lows. So if we go down to the 1 hour time frame, we want to see what price is doing to tell us what trade we should be taking. Now we have price that made a high, low, high, low. So naturally, we'd be looking for price to do something like that. All right. So if price is holding this structural support level here, then clearly we would want price to continue back bullish, respecting the previous level of support. But let's look at how the candles are forming here. Okay. So we have this candle that broke below, this candle that broke and closed above, and now we have a bunch of dojis that are forming here. This is 4 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time, so it's out of session. So we want to move it on over until we are in session. So let's go on over to, let's say, London session. So we're going to move this over to London session, which is right about 2 more. Right about almost there. So pre-London. There we go. So pre-London moved, okay? So once structure is broken, it is at that point that you want to begin looking for a trend reversal, right? Because price made a high, we came down and made a very, very deep low, 100% pullback on this move, and now price is failing to continue up. Price tried to push up here, and then we have this drop here. Price rallied over here, and then we dropped again. So now we know who's in control of the market because we have a bearish drop to the downside. We already see this candle pulling back. Now, does this mean that we should automatically be looking for sells? Technically, yes, because we have technically a broken structure. We broke structure right around this area here. Now price has dropped. So what you want to look for is some sort of a pullback in this area for price to continue bearish. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place, because like I said, we're trading off of the higher time frames here. So what I'm looking for is for price to come back to this area to respect my high over here and then continue back to the downside here. All right. So we're waiting for price to come back. So trading guys, is all about discipline. Okay, you want your pair to come back to specific levels to give you higher confirmations for you to be able to safely enter the market and to also give yourself a better risk to reward. So if I enter the trade down here, my stop loss would need to be somewhere up here, which is massive, right? So what I want to do is I want to wait for price to come back to this area, give me a whole bunch of exhaustions, show me that it's respecting that new level as a resistance, and then I could be confident to take the sell to continue on down. Okay, so what I want to see is price to come back and then continue to the downside. So this is what I want to see. I want to see price come back up in this area, test this area, do something like this, give me some exhaustion, and then eventually come on down. All right, so we're going to move this along here and see if we can get that play. Okay, so price did pull back, but it didn't pull back to our entry. All right, did not pull back to our entry, which is okay. Sometimes it doesn't, but this is where I wanted price to come back to. It didn't quite come back there. That's okay. It tested this last level of support right here. So if I push this, pull this down a little, technically it tested that level of support, and then price started pushing down. But that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see price come back up to this level, give me a bunch of rejection, which it did right here, and now it's pushing to the downside. All right. So even though we didn't get the full pullback that we wanted, we saw what we wanted to see happen. Okay, and sometimes the pullback doesn't come when you want it to come back. Sometimes it takes a couple of days, couple hours, whatever it is. So sometimes you have to be able to wait on that pullback, or look for a second entry opportunity at maybe a break or low or something like that if you're looking for sells. Okay, so let's continue on here. So very good. Okay, so if we were in this trade, our TP would have got hit. All right. So exactly what I wanted to see happen, but we did not get entered into this trade because it did not activate. All right, no big deal, no problem. Price is pushing down, making lower lows and lower highs. Excellent. Now we're back at this structural level right here. Okay, we're back at this structural level where we had marked off before on the higher time frame. Price has made a high. We dropped. We created a new low here. So what I'd want to see is, again, another pullback for price to continue back down. All right, so that's what we're going to be looking for here. So let's see if we can get another position here. All right, so let's see where I want price to pull back from. Actually, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to use my fib from my swing high to my swing low. So I would want price to come back to right about there. Stops above these highs, TP right there. So let's see if price can do that for us. All right, so now we're activated. Okay, we got the pullback there. Now we're activated, and let's see if price is going to continue back down, or if price is going to respect this structural key level that we have here. We're still testing, and now we're breaking back above. Almost hit our stop loss. Almost hit our stops, guys. That's crazy. Almost hit stops, but we had our stops above the previous major high. Price respected that major high, and then we dropped and we hit TP. Excellent, excellent. All right. So we didn't catch it on this move here, but price played out how we wanted it to. So we caught the second opportunity for price to continue back down. So basically what I'm doing here, guys, is I'm showing you how to find your trades on the higher time frames using structure, but also paying attention to your pullbacks and your retests, right? The rule of thumb with trading, guys, is no retest, no entry. No retest, no entry. It doesn't matter, you know, how anxious you are to enter a trade, or, you know, how right you may be about what you think the market is going to do. If you're disciplined enough to wait on your entry cues, on your exhaustion areas, on your fib levels to be respected, your support and resistance levels, your key levels, supply and demand levels, all those things matter, guys, because price is, those levels are like magnets. Price wants to come back to them. It wants to come test those levels. It's very rare in the market that price just takes off in a specific direction and never comes back to test a certain area. At some point, it's going to come back and test that area. It might take a couple of days, a couple hours, a couple of weeks, a couple of months even sometimes. That's just how the market is. It does what it wants to do. But at the end of the day, not saying you have to wait months or weeks or days for you to take your trade, but be disciplined enough to wait for price to come back to specific price levels and give you the best entry, the best risk reward, and the most confidence that the move is going to play out in your favor. Okay, I could have saw price pulling up in this area here and say, I want to get out because it's pushing up, not realizing that it's just testing, it's just grabbing Could be grabbing liquidity, right? It could be the banks and institutions trying to enter the market at a better price, right? Because technically, if we look at this trade here, if we look at this this entry here, you'll see that price was holding resistance right here. So all the people that took sells in this area probably had their stops right above those highs. Instead of having it above these highs, because the stop loss was bigger, they wanted to be a little bit more conservative, I would say, and everybody had their stops above these highs. So all price did was push up, grab those orders, enter at a better price, and then eventually drop in the market. Okay, so you want to play the market at their own game. Like don't try to beat them, but try to join them, right? You're not trying to beat the market. You're trying to join the market, because the trend is your friend. Where the trend goes is where you want to go. Okay, so that's what you want to look for. All right, so we got that trade played out perfectly, came to our entry opportunity, executed, and TP was smacked. Okay, perfect. So now let's look at where price is now. So price is sitting at this rejection area right about here, right? We have this exhaustion area right here where price is rejecting off that level. Okay, and then below that level we have a big clean move to the downside. Okay, so what do we see forming here on the high time frames? Well, what I see here was somewhat of a head and shoulders forming here, right? So we see that price has dropped, retested, and dropped in this area. So we have this big move to the downside. So what are we waiting for? A pullback, right? Your pullbacks are always going to give you the confirmation that you need. I know I've said that 14 times already in this video, but it's everything. Okay, those pullbacks are golden. Those pullbacks are everything you want to see to give you the best entries and the best confirmations for you to take your trades. Okay, so now we see price rejecting off this area here, leaving a similar I guess doji, if you want to call it, area here. What we'd be looking for is for price to push up and to give us a second entry opportunity for the sell continuations. Okay, if the market is going to continue and sell. So what I like to see is a little bit more exhaustion in this area for price to push up. But oftentimes what I've seen, especially with GU, is that sometimes it'll only give you 1 or 2 exhaustion candles and then it'll take off at that point. Sometimes it doesn't give you all of the confirmations that you need. And that's a big deal with trading, guys, because sometimes you're not going to see all the confirmations that you want to see. Sometimes it's only going to give you 1 or 2 or 3 different confirmations or confluences that you want to see for you to be able to enter a trade. So oftentimes I've missed out on trade opportunities because I want to see, 3 or 4 confirmations and I won't see them. And because I don't see them, I just won't enter the trade, when in reality, sometimes the market is it's not going to give you all those easy answers to the test. It wants you to work for your money. So it's going to give you just a sample. So it's going to give you 1 or 2 confirmations and say, okay, that's all you're going to get. Let's see if you're going to take this trade, right? So sometimes the market plays mind games with you for you to see if you're ballsy enough to enter just off that. But do you have the discipline to stay out of the trade if you don't see all your confirmations, or are you going to be risky and just jump in? So that all depends on you. That all depends on your discipline, your patience, and all of that. Me, myself, I prefer to wait. I don't mind missing out on a big move because I don't see my confirmations, because I know I'll be pissed off at myself if I enter off of, less confirmations than I need and lose the trade when I could have just waited on what I wanted. You know what I mean? So to me, that's the best approach to take with trading. It'll save you a lot of money and a lot of stress as well, because the anxiety level of being in a trade off of less confirmations won't be there if you wait on the market to come back to where you want it to come back to. Okay. All right. So let's move this along here and see what we got here. So we got price pulling up, pulling up, pulling up. Excellent. Excellent. Perfect. 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 So we have a pullback forming here. So let's see if we can bang out fibs on this level here, right, guys? Because we have a high and we have a low. So let's see if we can bang out fibs. We see fibs coming to this 61.8. If this level holds right here, then we'll be looking for a price to continue back down. So let's see if we get a rejection in this area, or are we getting a full trend reversal? So a price respect 61.8. We're going to do this here. Shake short positions right around here. TPs down there. And stops above the previous structural high, which is right around this area here. All right, so what I want to see is price respect the 61.8 retracement, and if it respects that, then we'll be activated into the trade, and let's see if we can have price come on down and continue in bear structure. Okay, So now we pushed up to 78. Okay, we pushed up 78% retracement is kind of a big deal, right? That usually means that's almost 100% retracement. So maybe it could be pulling back for price to continue up bullish, right? As we are holding this area right here, but we do have this bearish drop here. So that bearish drop is very telling, right? So we have to see, but we committed. We had our orders here. We're committed into this trade. Let's see if price is going to continue down. Perfect. Perfect. TP pretty much hit right there at that doji, right about there. All right. So let's go over this trade. All right. I wanted price to respect the 61.8. We pushed up even higher, and then we came down with this bearish drop. Why did I stay in this trade? I stayed in this trade because this was our last major high. This was our low. Price created resistance beneath the previous high here. We have this high here. So let's use my marker real quick. We have lower high, lower high, lower high, okay, and lower high right around there. All right, so we see that price created resistance, again, tapped our area that we had before, right? This was the same area that price held before, pushed up and then dropped down to our TP. Next area is opened and closed right up underneath this area, and then we had this bearish drop. Okay, so how many confirmations do we have here? Well, first confirmation is a bearish drop. That's a bearish trend, number one. Number two, we have price that had a nice retracement, right? A 78% retracement, which is a big retracement. Okay, so we got to keep your eye on something like that, which is a deep enough retracement for you to have more confidence that the move is ready to either have a trend reversal, or now it's ready to push to continue in the trend that it was going in. Okay, so we have that. Right, and then we have this big bearish drop here, a nice big engulfing candle that's taken out everything else before it, indicating bearish pressure, and bears are in control of the market right now. So now you're in the trade, and you can continue holding for the trade to come down to activate or to hit your TP overall. Okay, so what am I trying to teach you guys here? What am I showing you guys here? Number one, I'm trying to teach you discipline in waiting for a price to come back to specific levels or to respect certain levels to give you all the confirmation that you need to have confidence in the move and that the move is going to play out in your favor. That's number one. Number two, structure. Structure is everything. I'm looking at the way GU is playing out right now, the way it's forming right now, and I'm saying to myself, okay, I see that the market is bearish. We're making lower lows and lower highs. I'm looking for my resistance levels to be respected. I'm looking for supports to be broken. I'm looking for big body bearish candles to be breaking supports. These are all things that you should be looking for if the market is selling, obviously, for you to be able to execute on a trade. But the number one thing that I'm waiting for is for price to come back to specific price levels. I don't care what it does between any other time. I want it to come back to specific price levels. And even on this trade here, I could have taken the buys, right? I could have rode these buys up, but I'm kind of super disciplined when it comes to taking counter trend trades. I do take them every once in a blue moon, but for the most part, since I'm teaching you guys here and I want you guys to really understand how to trade this pair and how to really understand how it moves, I don't want to teach you bad habits like trading counter trend trades in a strong bearish market, right? We have a big bearish drop happening here. Prices maintaining structure, so at that point, you need to be looking for sells. Can you look for buys? Absolutely. Should you hold your buys? No, because the market is obviously overall bearish. But can you take the counter trend trade? You can. Just don't hold it too long. That way you don't get taken out. But for the most part, be patient. Wait for the bulls to be done. Wait for the retracements to be done. Look for your retracements to respect your fib levels if you use fibs. But if not, I use fibs, but I also use my support and resistance levels, right? Even if I didn't have fibs here, I'd want price to remain underneath this level because this was my last major high. So as long as price respects my last major high, forget the fibs. Now I'm looking for price to continue down, create resistance, break supports, and we're off and going. Off and running, okay? Now, obviously, guys, these are big moves, right? These are not scalping moves right here, right? This is a 120 pip move. This one was, I don't even know how many pips this win was. And then so this is obviously not scalping. However, can you use this for scalping or intraday strategy? Of course. You could use it because you're trading off of the higher time frames. You're looking for price to come back to specific price areas off the higher time frames to give you more confirmation once you drop down to your lower time frames. Okay? So I hope you guys learned a lot out of this video. I dropped, I think I dropped a lot of nuggets, enough for you guys to understand what to look for, how to be disciplined. There's a lot of psychology in this video as well. So know what you're looking for, know how to be disciplined, wait for price to pull back, wait for your retest levels, wait for your support and resistance levels, look for your supply and demand areas to be, respected. Look for your engulfing candles, look for your exhaustion areas. These are all things you have to look for in order to give you the most confirmation and the most confidence to enter a trade and be highly profitable with that setup as well. All right, guys, so thank you guys for watching. Please like, please subscribe. Let me know what other videos you want to see. Drop a comment below. Let me know if this was understandable to you. Let me know if any of this went over your head. I have plenty of other backtesting videos on my channel, so if there's anything else you guys want to learn, there's plenty of knowledge to be learned here. Okay, guys. Also, with that, I do have a signal group, so if you're interested in taking my signals, go ahead and join with the links in the description box. And as always, my course is available for anybody who wants to learn, the ins and outs and the nitty gritty when it comes to trading and being able to be profitable with strategies like this. All right, guys. So thanks y'all for watching. See you guys on the next one. Peace out.